Season 4 of Shadowlands is going to be huge.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your casual dad gamer speaking. Please fasten your seatbelts as we're expecting a fair bit of turbulence from the strong cold front of opinions heading our way.
Today we're taking a dive into Season 4 and patch 9.2.5, and whether you're a casual gamer or a full-on hardcore, this season will be huge for the likes of all manner of World of Warcraft enthusiasts. Let's take a brief snapshot of where we are right now in 9.2. What's it like being a retail Andy? The woes and lows and the copium highs and delusions that get us through this patch. So to begin, we have the usual culprits of content. Open world zones, do some world quests, get some stuff, do some things, Bob's your uncle. Then we go back to watching Asmongold's hottest take on Amber Heard and how she's a lying sack of shit.
Bro.
Zereth Mortis is the new zone for patch 9.2. It's actually been received quite well. However, it's still the bread and butter content of world quests, dailies, rinse, repeat. It can be quite tedious. I'm just dealing with one main and one ult, and I find it repetitive. God forbid if you had multiple ults you're all trying to work on, each one of them trying to get their reputation gain up to get the second legendary, farming sandstone relics to get some entry level gear, that kind of stuff. While it is better, the sandstone relics, for example, are a great addition to be able to inject some okay gear onto your new fresh characters. Now, this is also a solo path. Solo players actually do have a direct pathway to follow to be able to get some decent gear, including transferring your tier gear from the sandstone relic items into a 4-piece tier set. We're also at the point where, although it was dumb as shit to even time gate it in the first place, we do have enough charges on every character now to be able to transfer through the creation catalyst all our gear from Mythic Plus, or Sandstone Relics, or rating in general, into a tier set. So you can get your 4-piece straight away. It might require a bit of Torghast farming to get some Cosmic Flux injected, but you have that opportunity. As I mentioned as well, a second legendary is coming online. It's in no way, shape or form a good system, but it does feel easier and better to farm gear for ults now. And that is being bolstered by the fact we get our hands on a second legendary. It's simply fun, honestly. It's just a nice little power spike. It gives you a tangible goal to chase. And once you do get it, it honestly is quite fun just seeing a significant power boost on your output, and fun to play around with, that is for sure. Mythic Plus is still churning out the good old tried and true content of placing keys in holes and participating in the vitriolic elitism of the gotta go fast mentality and Raider.io. Raiders have another raid to enjoy, so hey, cool. That's where we're at with 9.2. We got our typical raid. Mythic Plus is still doing its thing, and solo players do have an easier but still not great journey through getting some gear and what we can do day in and day out. Now we come to the cusp of Season 4. Why is this so important? The pipeline will include a revamp to Mythic Plus, cycling out all current dungeons except for the latest two from Tazavesh, which are Streets and Solier's Gambit. These two will be accompanied by Junkyard and Workshop of Operation Mechagon from BFA, Return to Kara, Lower and Upper from Legion, and finally Grimrail Depot and Iron Docks from Warlords of Draenor. While it certainly won't quell the high expectations on Mythic Plus groups and that Raider.io mentality that plagues it, it is, however, a fresh coat of paint to mix things up and helps people put more of an even playing field from a newer player trying to get into Mythic Plus the first time, which will certainly be my camp that I'm in, versus veterans that have spent literally 2 years doing like 30 to 50 dungeons a week on the same 8 dungeons. They know it like the back of their hand, and it helps reduce the disparity between these two player groups that are trying to enjoy Mythic Plus. Veterans will have a more enjoyable time by simply the nature of the fact that it is new content. For example, the Warlords of Draenor have never even had a concept of Mythic Plus variant of them before, so it'll be fun. It's the first time for all of us. We will have a new seasonal affix in disguise. We don't actually have a tooltip or know what it does yet, but we know the name, and generally there's some hints and clues that people believe it will be related to Dreadlords in some way, shape or form. On the raiding front, we have an entire new concept of fated raids instead of a new raid tier. This will encompass all raids present for Shadowlands expansion. We got Castle Nathria, Sanctum of Domination, and Sepulchre of the first ones. They will all be relevant for Season 4, which fixes one of the hugest and largest of problems that the raiding scene has had for a very, very long time. Old rating tiers immediately became irrelevant once a new patch dropped, and as it stands, each week will highlight one of these expansion raids as a fated raid, giving boosted eye level loot and providing unique raid-based affix to spice up the challenge. For casuals, this will include LFR, meaning that LFR will get fated boosted eye level loot, which can be transferred into tier gear through the creation catalyst. This means that Castle Nathria and Sanctum of Domination gear, even though they did not drop tier gear, will be at least transferable, a chest item, into the creation catalyst. It will spit you back out tier gear, which means that yes, tier sets will not be going away. This is an amazing move. For our hardcore veterans, again, more content, a more engaging week-to-week raiding experience, which is definitely going to increase the longevity for raiding. I think this is a great move. And honestly, a more engaging pool of gear to chase. Best in slot lists will hopefully span across multiple raids. A trinket from Sepulchre, the other trinket from Castle Nathria, perhaps your Abyss rings will be from Sanctum of Domination, but your Abyss weapon will be from Castle Nathria again. This doesn't come without its negatives though. Unfortunately, the fated raid roster will rotate each week, meaning you can only get your chance at boosted item level loot from one raid at a time. We will have to wait for it to cycle back. This does give a bit of a bad taste, very similar to Corruption Vendor from BFA all over again. But the nice cherry on top is the fated raid vendors. 3 vendors will be added to help with bad luck protection. So, how will these fated vendors work? There are 3, 1 for each raid. There will be 3-part questline that has objectives to kill 30, 20, and 10 fated bosses respectively. Each quest objective rewards an item called the Puzzling Cartel Dinar. Once all 3 objectives are completed and you've subsequently spent all 3 dinars on items available from the vendors, the 3 vendors will disappear. This does mean if you dropped all your dinars on a Sanctum vendor and got 2 trinkets and a weapon, it will disappear along with the Nathria and Sepulchre vendors as well. Additionally, heroic and mythic upgrades for any fated item, including those from the vendors, can be done in the form of Cosmic Creation Impetus and Sacred Creation Impetus. To create these impetusi, you combine shards from their respective lesser versions, currently set to 20 on the PTR. These shards drop from heroic and mythic bosses. So you go in, you kill a mythic boss, you get some shards, then you basically go, cool, I now have 20 of those shards, turn it into your sacred or cosmic creation impetus, and then you can click on it and click on your fated item and go, boom, there you go, instantly upgrade it to heroic or mythic levels from there. These shards are 100% drop chance. So for even a casual plebeian, it's definitely worth your while to go in, kill a heroic or mythic boss each week, even if it's just one or a couple as a part of your guild. You can do that harder content, even if you only dip your toes into it. It will slowly build up your shard stacks, get you enough to get a item, one of the impetus, and you can use that to then boost one of your even LFR items straight up to mythic. Blizzard has confirmed you do not need to go to heroic before jumping to mythic. You could literally get an LFR item and boost it straight to mythic quality as long as you had the respective impetus item. This is definitely far more of a deterministic way of obtaining some key item loot, and it's a huge benefit to literally every type of player. Casuals have a solid way of upgrading their lower item level loot, and even if you're just dipping your toes into that harder content, like I mentioned, it gives you a tangible pathway to follow to get some good gear. Regular raiders have a surefire way of chasing some big ticket items as well in the weapons and trinkets that can often feel like they may make or break a spec. And ultimately, the final piece of the puzzle for this video does ultimately come down to you guys. And no, I'm not talking about a comment, and a like, and a subscription, although that does totally help out with the YouTube algorithm. Much appreciated if you do. More importantly, spend the 5 seconds out of your day to communicate with the developers on what you like and what you don't like. Although we don't tangibly have our hands on it, so we can't really get a true sense of how it feels to play through this type of content. Whatever you know now through the PTR, as we learn more, as Season 4 actually drops, we know this is a testing ground for Dragonflight and patches beyond. It is absolutely imperative and crucial that you guys spend 30 seconds of your time eloquently expressing what you do or don't like, whether it's 5 seconds to just retweet or like a tweet from your favorite streamer, go on the forums, MMO champion, literally whatever your preferred platform or medium of how you like to discuss things World of Warcraft, do that. Let your opinions be heard, get your voice out there, and hopefully we can definitely keep World of Warcraft on the new train track, so to speak, heading towards a much better content cadence and better philosophy for us players, going forward. If you're picking up what I'm putting down, as always, I do really appreciate if you do happen to subscribe, like, leave a comment, all that good juicy stuff. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.